Hi everyone, it's Nick Holland here, SportsCar Global, and I'm sat with, once again, Nick Tandy at Le Mans. Hi Nick.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. So, we are Thursday afternoon. We have had one day on the track. Conditions are much hotter than they were for the test weekend. What has that brought to you, to the car?
Discomfort in the driving seat,
Yeah.
for a start, because it was hot yesterday,
Yeah.
and we've got features of the car to help out our comfort inside.
Okay.
However, these features go against our engineers' wishes for.
They take some necessary energy.
Yes,
Yeah?
they do. So.
So 32 is not a limit; it's more a target.
Exactly. Yeah. It's fine in the car as long as it doesn't. I've been in places where it's been really, really hot, and it gets to the point where you can't breathe. The air is so hot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that yesterday, but it makes you think about it, and you know that you're drinking a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's things like, obviously around this track, you want the least drag as possible. So if you start opening out the driver cooling openings in the car, you're creating drag.
Yeah.
And this is completely against what our engineers want to do with the car.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you can't risk having a fatigued driver in the car because that will cost you performance anyway.
No,
unfortunately, we're not at that level yet.
Yeah. If this particular component needs air, it needs to be provided with air. That's very sensible.
Yes.
We see on the car, beautiful enhancements and so on. It's not an all-new car, is it? It's an evolution of previous. And things like the integral mirrors, again, allude to that sort of desire for a low drag car. Notable, I think, that your speed through the speed trap seems to have come up since test day. Have there been changes since test day that have allowed you to close that gap on some of those irritating P2s?
Yes.
Good. Would you like to tell us about them?
No.
That is fine. We see that you're actually doing 334.9 km/h through the track, which is identical to the Toyotas. We also, from last night, see some very identical pace from the number one car, slightly slower from the number two. I assume that was just timing and traffic.
In practice, we can run different setups on different cars.
Yeah.
So, in theory, you could run one car completely trimmed out.
Yep.
Going for straight line speed, and you could run one car a little bit less trimmed out, going for a bit more corner speed, which could explain differences in these speed figures.
Okay.
Of course, I couldn't let you on to what exactly we would be doing, but that way you could assess what's the best route to take.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about having some practice sessions and two, or maybe having three cars is even better for that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
it looks a lot better. There's been a lot of detailed work gone on since the test day, and it looks like it's showing to make a good difference.
Yeah. Progress never stops, does it?
No, exactly. We know what we're aiming for now.
Yeah. And I guess if you're going to experiment with those setups, you're going to do that on the Wednesday. And then tonight we might actually see a bit more action in terms of both cars, common setup, and is a pole possible for Porsche?
It's absolutely possible because we haven't seen the best from Toyota. You certainly haven't seen the best from Porsche, and the chances of getting a free lap here are hugely unlikely.
Yeah.
Because there's extra cars on the track.
Yeah, especially when, everybody waits for that, obviously the 10 o'clock green light, but everybody goes at the same time. Has anyone ever thought that there might be benefit in give it 10 minutes?
Well, the theory is that because everybody wants to go at the start, they're all out there, and there is a gap. Because you will always catch.
If you get to the front of the queue.
Yes. It's okay for us because we can maybe start 5 cars back in the line and pass those cars to get to the front. You will always get traffic. It's just how much you get.
Yeah.
And if you're really lucky to only lose a second or only lose half a second,
Yeah.
rather than the 5 seconds that we lost yesterday. So
Yeah. I mean, traffic in particular, I mean, the GTs don't change. They're similar pace. You're a similar pace. Obviously, the key thing that has changed is these LMP2s. You're quicker out the corner. I assume you're quicker through the corners. It's just towards the end of the straights.
it's not even towards the end of the straights. It's I think there's been a lot of talk about it that's not really necessary.
Right.
From my experience, they're quicker at the end of the straight, but you're talking the last 200 metres or so, 300 metres. All the way up to 200 miles an hour, when we have the legs on them still.
Yeah.
So you know that if you're coming alongside towards the end of the straight, you know what's going to happen. It's not like we pass them and then all of a sudden they come flying back at us at the end of the straight. That's not what's happening.
No, they're just creeping back a bit.
Yeah, so it's not really an issue, and it's just the fact that they are faster on a general lap. But then we are overtaking them less because we're not catching them so much.
That was the point I was just coming to, actually. In terms of traffic lap on lap, it's going to be a benefit for you at the front. You're going to potentially catch fewer cars because they're closer to your pace.
Yes, but a pack of LMP2 that used to be able to be dealt with on one straight, is now there's going to be a big problem in a race situation.
Yeah.
So there's pluses and minuses about it. But,
good stuff.
It'll be okay.
You're obviously full-time WEC season runner this year. You're also a Le Mans winner in 2015. How much would a second win mean?
It'll be massive this year.
Yeah.
Because we're defending. Me and Neil and Earl are kind of still defending champions. So it would be huge to do it again this year. And I think if we didn't win this year, then to come back next year and try and regain it.
Yeah.
It's the thing we strive for most in our sport, in our lives really, in our careers. So, of course, every chance you get, because you're not going to get many of them.
Yeah.
You want to grab hold of it and do everything possible. It means that much. It's that big a week and that big a weekend for us.
Yeah.
So it would mean everything. It can make a bad year elsewhere and everything else a fantastic year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the year's not looking too bad in the Tandy family. You got the new young'un.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Got the GT team as well.
Yeah, they're hard work. Got 3 kids in that as well.
How are they getting on? I saw
they better behave than you.
Always.
Is Dino? I think
Dino's just qualified on the front row for the Carrera Cup race here, so that's a good start. Our other 2, I think, were a bit further down with some issues, but
good stuff.
We can't win them all.
Yeah. So if you're from England, if you're from Britain, if you're from England, and if you're from Bedfordshire, then there's someone to cheer on there in the support race on Saturday morning. Nick, as ever, thank you for your time. You've been a gent.
No worries.
We wish you best of luck and stay safe out there.
Yes.